Hello and welcome back to the second tutorial video in how to design your phone holder. What I'm going to show you in this video is how to add some attractive features to the outside of your frame. So the first thing we're going to do, as always, is save. So click File and then Save, or Save As I showed you before, and make sure you keep doing that. Now this phone holder is going to be on the theme of weather. So the first thing I'm going to do is design some clouds. To do that, I'm going to start by drawing a series of circles. Okay, so I'm just going to click circle, and that's it. Over here, before we had grid lock on. If I zoom in, I'll show you what that does. Remember, grid lock produces these dots, and if you look at my cursor, it just jumps to the dot every time. And that's good if you want to work accurately, but it can be a hindrance at times. So I'm going to turn grid lock off, and you'll notice now that my cursor can just float and click anywhere I want. So to draw a cloud, I've got the circle clicked, and I'm just going to draw a series of circles. So just click and then click again, click and click, click and click, and what you should see eventually is it making a big sort of blob, and I'm just going to have one out here. That doesn't look like much of a cloud at the moment, but if I take this delete tool, remember we want the second option here, I don't know why that's come up. I click the second option and then I delete all the inner lines. What you should start seeing is a cloud-like shape emerging. See? There is a basic cloud shape. Not bad. Okay. Once you've got to that point, I would file and save. Okay, what you're going to do now to make that one object, because, excuse me, if I were to click on any of these lines, they're individual lines, and I want that as one object. So I'm going to click select, select everything, and then as before we're going to edit and group. Now that is one object. Okay, have a go at making a cloud. Okay, so by now you should have a cloud and your basic frame saved. Now what I want to do is put my cloud in the top left corner of my frame. So if I click and I drag, you'll notice that it goes outside the frame, so it's too big. But that's okay. What I'm going to do is just move it to an approximate location I want, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now if I laser cut that, it cuts everything in black. So what would happen is it would just fall apart. So what I'm going to do instead is delete lines I don't want inside, and I'm going to add another cloud inside. And that other cloud will be just lightly cut so I can see it. So I'm going to take it back and I'm going to contour inside, double click on contour. I'm going to change that to 2 millimeters and then click inside. And I'm going to change the color by click select and then click on my cloud. I'm going to change the color here to red and then click OK. Now what that means is the laser cutter will cut out anything in black and it will just lightly engrave anything in red. Once I've done that, I'm going to highlight both and I'm going to put them back in position. It actually might be easier with grid lock off when you're doing this. Grid lock off might be easier. Okay, as I do that, I'll click approximately there, a bit higher maybe. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to zoom in again because I need to do some very careful deleting. As I said, everything in black will be cut. So what I'm going to do is select the second delete option, and then all the lines inside the cloud, I'm going to delete. And so that one, these little ones. I'm really going to have to zoom in here. Like that. And up here. Now, if I laser cut this line, it's going to fall apart, so I need to delete this line as well, the curved line. Right, something odd's happened there. I don't know why it's done that. So what I'm going to do is edit, undo. Sometimes the delete tool isn't perfect. And I'm going to explode my cloud. So I'm going to select the cloud and then edit, and we're going to explode. That's like ungrouping it. And then click continue. Now if I select a line, yeah, you'll see they're back to individual objects. Now this now might allow me to, didn't mean to do that. I might be able to delete now. Let's try again. Yep, there we go. If I zoom out, there you can see the laser cutter. The laser cutter will cut all these lines in black, and it will just lightly engrave that cloud there. So you can see how the cloud looks in the top of my phone holder. Great. Right, save that file, save or save as. Okay, so now you should have a cloud on the top of your frame. One thing I wanted to show before we move on, I've copied another cloud. If you wanted, say, another cloud in this corner, one thing you can do, that's exactly the same as the original. But if you click these buttons, you could flip it round so that it's a reflection. So that's an option. You could also flip it upside down if you wanted. So you can play around with these tools, or you could rotate it. It's up to you. Okay, have a play if you wanted to duplicate your clouds or whatever you're drawing. But I wanted to now add a sun. Now, the way I'm going to do a sun is to first draw a circle. And what I've done is I've put grid lock back on for this exercise. So grid lock on, grid lock on. And I'm just going to draw a small circle like that. So that'll be the center of my sun, and I want some rays coming off. So what I'm going to do is make those rays triangles. If you click on the shapes tool and click the triangle, I'm just going to draw a little triangle like that. Now I've just got one ray there. In fact, I'm going to make that longer, so I'm going to click and just lengthen my triangle a little bit. Now I want rays all the way around. Now the way you can do that, a little trick, is to select your triangle and then click draw, transform and rotate. Now this is going to repeat that shape, rotating in a circle at angles of 30 degrees. Repeat 11, 30 degrees, that's good. And then click OK, and I'm just going to click bang in the middle, boom, and it's copied those rays around. So if I click off it now, I've got my sun. Now if I highlight that and make it one object, so edit, group, I can then reduce the size, and grouping it just makes it a lot easier to work with. Now at the moment it's a bit too big for my frame. Now that's okay, you could draw around it if you wanted. To make things easier, I'm just going to make it a really small sun, and I'm going to put it in the corner there. Okay, I might actually make it just a little bit smaller, and then it will fit perfectly within my frame. What you might want to do is turn grid lock off, locate it where you want, and then turn grid lock back on. But now, because it's an internal thing, that would just cut all out everything in black, so I'm going to change the color to red again. Okay, there you go. I now have sun and a cloud, and I might also have some lines. These would be like sunbeams. And again, because they're going to be engraved, I need to make sure they're red. I'm actually just going to lengthen that middle ray as well. Okay, so there we go. Cloud and a sun and some sunbeams coming off. File, save, and we can move on to the next step. Okay, the next step I want to show you is how to add an image to your frame. What you can do, I've got this on the theme of weather, so I'm going to use a tree. What you can do is just do an internet search for any image. It's easiest if you do something like cartoon tree or cartoon flower, or here I've got dolphins, and choose an image that's quite simple and hasn't got too many colors. For example, let me find one. This one here is excellent because it's really simple. It's only got 4 very basic colors. Something like this would be more complicated. It's got lots of colors within colors, so that might not be too appropriate. I'm going to try this this happy face tree. I think that's quite a nice image. So what you do is you just right click and then copy image, and then within the 2D design file, just right click again and then paste, and that just copies the image straight in. Now the laser cutter can't just cut an image out like that. We have to go through a process called vectorizing. So what you need to do is click bitmap, click bitmap and then vectorize, and then click on your image. Now what this allows you to do is reduce the number of colors you see, or change it to black and white. If I click on monochrome, it's black and white. Now that isn't very attractive, so if you adjust the luminescence, you can actually get a pretty crisp, clear image. Okay, I don't want it all black, I just want the outline really, so that's pretty good. That will give me a nice image. So once I've adjusted that, just click OK and then OK again, and what I've got there is a nice image that the computer will recognize. The laser cutter can cut that. Now next thing you need to do is turn the fill off. So I've selected my image and I'm going to click fill and then click no fill and then OK. Now what that gives me, it gives me the lines, but it doesn't give me any detail that the laser cutter can't handle. The laser cutter likes lines, it doesn't like big blocks of solid color, solid black. Now what I could do is just reduce the size, change the color to red, and if I wanted I could just put that within the frame, but to do that it would have to be really small, and I want my tree to be a bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it the size I want. That looks about right, maybe a little bigger. Okay, and as you see, it doesn't fit in the frame. So I'm going to do the same process as before with an outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click contour, 2mm, OK, and then click outside my image. Good, and that's in black, so it will laser cut that. I am going to then select everything and put it within my frame and just, oops, and I'm just going to rotate it a bit. Click on that rotation button. You might want grid lock off for this. Grid lock off maybe, and then you can put it in exactly the location you want. Okay, right, we'll pause there. So file and save. Now, as before, what we want is to delete any black lines that we don't want because they'll cut straight through. So I'm just going to click my delete tool and then zoom in, and any black lines on the very outside I'm going to keep. Any black lines inside the frame I want to delete. Notice there's a little black line there, so I'm really going to have to zoom in a lot. You can see up close, oh, didn't mean to do that, edit, undo. You see up close how that image has been turned into a series of lines, and they're the lines that the laser cutter will be able to recognize. There's more here. I also need to delete, oh, that was a mistake, edit, undo. I need to delete these curved lines. So what I think I need to do again is click on that and then edit, explode, and that should turn them into individual lines. There you go. So I can now delete these bits I don't want. Okay. Same here. Don't need these lines. Don't need these. I'll let you continue until you've deleted all the black lines you no longer need. Okay, once you've deleted all the black lines you don't want, again, file and then save. And I'm going to add one more detail, which is going to be a flower. So I've done a quick internet search for cartoon flower. Again, pick a simple one like this. It's just got three colors, black, red and pink. So I'm just going to right click, copy, and then in 2D design, right click and paste. So first thing I'm going to do is reduce the size so that it fits within my frame, about that. And then you need to bitmap, vectorize bitmap, click on the actual picture, and then we're going to change this to monochrome, and we're just going to play with the luminescence until we get a nice crisp image. So that looks about right there, and then click OK. OK again. Now remember, we don't want any fill, so click on fill up here and no fill. Okay, and the color has to be red because we don't want it to cut it out, we just want to engrave. Okay, so there's my red flower, and I'm just going to put this over here. Now to do this, it might be handy again, grid lock off. So I'm going to place it here. Now if I wanted, I could copy it many times by using this feature, copy, 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 and I could put flowers in different places like that, but I actually think I just want one flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these, delete them. I'm going to have one flower, but I'm going to have a stalk. So to add a stalk, I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to use this arc tool here. So click and hold down arc, and you need the, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need the 6th option there, draw an arc through 3 points. And all I'm going to do is click, click, and click again. There's one line. I'm going to do another here, click, click, and click, and then it looks like the stalk to the flower. I'm just going to select both of these lines and change the color to red again. Select the line, and then that'll be nicely engraved. Okay, so there you have some details around your phone holder. I've gone for weather. You can do whatever theme you want. I've shown you some basic tricks. One final thing you might want to do is add some feet. I'll quickly show you how to add some feet. If you click on shapes, I'm going to draw an elliptical bezier with a given center. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to put gridlock back on now. So gridlock on, and if I just click and then draw, and then I delete lines I don't want, I've given myself 1 foot there. All I'm going to do is click on that item and then copy it. Copy. And I'm going to place this foot on the other side, making sure it's in the same location. Again, just delete any lines you don't want. Brilliant. The last thing you might want to do is highlight everything. Select everything, and then draw, and we're going to edit, and we're going to group. Now it's all one object. Brilliant. You can have a go at that now, and then you can make the back, and you can add the lines in between so that you can make the middle sections. Remember, keep saving, and good luck.